Episode 9 is set to end the Skywalker saga and the sequel trilogy itself by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one angle to the Star Wars franchise that a lot of people are truly looking forward to seeing is exactly how J.J. Abrams is going to utilize the character of Luke Skywalker in this story that'll make us look back at the sequel trilogy and even the original trilogy in a different light. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with Rey, the Dark Prince, the Black Market, as well as a new name for the Jedi Master Luke Skywalker in Episode 9. Specifically, a description of Rey going through the Black Market and eventually entering the Palace of the Dark Prince, a character that is inspired from Prince Shizor in the EU. It's described that the Dark Prince recognizes Rey's Jedi weapon, as Rey is showing it to the Dark Prince. It's described that the Prince views it as the weapon of Coral Marcus, an alias used by Skywalker himself during his travels to the planet of Deveron. It's said that the Dark Prince had once met Luke on the planet Deveron, where at the time Luke did not go by his real name of Luke Skywalker. It's described that this is JJ's way of tapping into the comics of Star Wars, from The Weapon of the Jedi, a Luke Skywalker adventure comic, a canon story in between episodes 4 and 5 in 2015. Lastly, it's said that Rey informs the Prince that this weapon once belonged to the Skywalkers, catching the Prince by surprise. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this and as to why I'm getting very interested in this story. Now, first things first, I want to go over the planet Deveron. Now, Deveron, in case you guys did not know, in that comic is a very foresty world, and we also know that the location of the Black Market is actually considered to be the exotic city on that jungle world in Star Wars Episode 9. So if you put 2 and 2 together here, there's a real good chance that this planet in Episode 9 could very well be Deveron from the canon comic of course, The Weapon of the Jedi, a Luke Skywalker story. So at one point in time, Skywalker, in between the events of course, A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back shortly after the Battle of Yavin, Luke Skywalker actually traveled to the planet of Deveron and went under the name of Coral Marcus. It's spelt as Korl Marcus, and it was a very intriguing name, a very unique name. Luke Skywalker, in case you guys did not know, even changed his appearance in the comic. So you can see how much J.J. Abrams is really trying to pay attention to the EU and Legends material. By the way, Chris Terrio actually helped out a lot when it came to the EU, Legends, and even canon material for the Star Wars franchise. And this by far is one of the best callbacks to one of the early canon stories of the Star Wars universe under the Disney era. Just shortly, I believe it was after either The Force Awakens dropped, or maybe even before it released. So when we think about it like this, alright, we do know that Luke Skywalker went by the name of Coral Marcus, and at the time on the planet Deveron, he even had his iconic blue lightsaber that was once Anakin Skywalker's / Darth Vader's. So people have seen this weapon, and the Dark Prince was once there. Now, the Dark Prince is actually based on the EU character Prince Shizor, but do take note that it is not Prince Shizor from the EU. This is a completely new character, just deeply inspired by that character in Legends. So what I find so intriguing about this is that Rey actually learns about Luke Skywalker's alias through the Dark Prince who had once met Luke many decades ago. And I think that what's really interesting about all of this is that you can already see, right, exactly how JJ is tying this movie not just into the prequels, the originals, and Star Wars Rebels, but also the books, the novels, and yes, even the comics and video games, in order to really make it go full circle. And I honestly love that. I really do respect that by JJ and Chris Terrio. By the way, Chris Terrio is more in tune with the canon and Legends content, so he knows more about that stuff, so I'm sure that he had a hand in all of these little tidbits that will be a part of the plot of Episode 9. Now, I think that by incorporating a lot of legends and canon material from the books, the comics, the novels, I think that this is a step in the right direction by Disney and Lucasfilm to really make this film feel more true to hardcore Star Wars fans, as well as casual fans around the world. Now, we do know that Disney and Lucasfilm are using this movie as a course correction. There is a lot at stake here. There are a lot of risks that have been made in order to make this movie pretty much, not playing it so safe as The Force Awakens did. But it's going to be more around the middle line things, right? If you look at The Last Jedi, it really did make some bold decisions in that movie by Rian Johnson. It was very different, and it didn't really sit too well with fans because of how the character of Luke was used and what was done to the concept of ships, running out of fuel, and the Casino City at Canto Bight. There was just a lot of things in there that were too different that a lot of people did not agree with. So now they're going to be using this movie as a form of a lot of nostalgia and a lot of fan service, while also giving us unique and new story elements that are also going to be inspired from the Legends material. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.